Today we're gonna analyze the first quarter of 2025 for Google, and we're gonna walk through the most important points, how the economic situation looks, what kind of innovations we did hear about in the earnings call, etc. And when I say Google, I also mean Alphabet, because if you are going to invest in Google, you have to type in Alphabet. That's like the company that Google is operating under. So some takeaways here from the earnings call. Firstly, they had very robust economic results. The revenue was up 12% year over year, $90.2 billion. Let that sink in, $90.2 billion. That's like, if they have that the coming 4 quarters, it's about $360 billion in revenue in 1 year. So this company is really making a lot of money. It's sort of a money printer, I would say. The Google search business has been a money printer for Google for a long time. They earn a ridiculous amount of money, and they have become better and better to reallocate the money they earn from their advertisement business into other businesses, which we're going to talk more about here today. The net income was $34.5 billion. That's also insane, having that in net income. That's a 46% year-over-year increase. So I guess for shareholders, they are earning more money than they can use. So that's also amazing, a very solid foundation to enter the AI race, short-term and long-term here for Google. The operating margin was 34%, up from 32%. So despite earning a lot of money, they are improving the operating margin using new AI models and really improving the efficiency of the company. So that's also very impressive. And the free cash flow was about $19 billion. So short term, right after earnings, Alphabet's share price did rise 5%. And long term, I guess everyone who is already investing in Alphabet or Google, whatever you want to call it, are very happy and satisfied. And I would say this type of results also can attract other investors also, because it was very solid results in terms of the economics. An important growth area for Google has been for some time the cloud businesses, where they operate like in a similar segment as Microsoft with the Azure cloud they have, and also with Amazon and their cloud business. So they are really trying to grow there and be a real competitor to the other big companies. And as we can see here in the latest quarter, it was a 28% year-over-year increase. So I would say they are taking some market share here. So that's a very good sign for Google investors and also for the company as a whole. This is an area where they have invested a lot of money, having up-to-date the best processors, graphic processors, the artificial intelligence, etc., everything integrated. So they are kind of selling like the cloud, and in the cloud a lot of services included, and this type of package is obviously really doing good for them. And yeah, they are it's Google, so they are very good at security type of questions also. So overall, it's a very impressive growth in cloud services, and obviously this enhances the revenue for them. As I told you before, the advertising is like the main part of Google, but if they can grow cloud services and different revenue streams long term, that's very beneficial for the company and for the share price as a whole. So I guess they want to fuel the expansion in cloud services more going forward. Also, we did see the Waymo their taxi network. As you all know, Robi taxi network in the future is a big thing, and Google is actually the leader with and some of you may have used Waymo, and the owner of Waymo is Google. So they is completing approximately 200,000 paid rides per week in cities like Phoenix, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Austin. So maybe you did not know that. A lot of you have heard about Tesla and the robotaxi network that is coming. Actually, it's already here, and it's Waymo, and maybe Google is winning this race, and it's so much money. They are just aggregating data and expanding the footprint in the robotaxi world, and the technique they are using is the LiDAR technology. So they are like mapping the parts in the city. So it's a quite expensive type of product they are using. When, for example, Tesla are using cameras just to go out there with the cars, this type of technology is more like profound, because it's using the LiDAR to really map the way where the cars are going. So it's a bit safer, but it's also very expensive to build out. But if any company has the money to do it, it's obviously Google, because they have the money printer in terms of their advertising businesses. So I mean, as an investor, this is something to really keep track on. They was 500% more rides from last year, so they are going hard here. And I heard that in the earnings call they are also going to open Waymo in Washington, so it's just expanding. So this is really going to be a growth driver long term for Google. So don't miss that. They also want to expand in Atlanta and in Tokyo in 2025. So yeah, they have committed up to $5 billion in a multi-year investment to support Waymo's growth and technological advancements. So a lot of money are getting plowed into this area also. So yeah, also another way of diversificate the revenue streams in Google, and long term the advancements in the autonomous driving network can make Google like a leader in the transportation businesses, and that the potential market there is sky high. Also, they are really a leader in the AI race. Some would say Google is the leader. As you know, they had Google Search, so they were early on very good at AI. They have their own AI labs, etc. But some people said that despite knowing that how large language models works early on, they did not want to like push for the change too early, because they do not want to cannibalize their own market share. That is why ChatGPT became the thing before Google. But then Google launched Gemini, and now they are like improving Gemini, like Gemini 2.5, and integrating it in different products. 1.5 billion users for Google's different types of services, and AI is like integrated in everything. So they are really a leader in the AI space. And as you know, the AI is the future, is everywhere, is here, and being a leader is, I mean, if you are an investor in Google, I guess that's a very good thing that they are a leader in the AI space, and they are driving the innovations to spur future growth, etc. So yeah. And also, as we can see here, they launched Gemini 2.5, the most advanced AI model so far. They are during the earnings call saying it's the best. Maybe a bit biased, but that's anyway what they said. AI overuse in search now has 1.5 billion users, over 270 million paid subscribers across platforms like YouTube and Google One. So that also is a diversification of the revenue streams. So I would say, even though Google has some ongoing regulatory challenges, for example, they just got fined in EU for some of their practices, and also getting under investigation in the USA for having like monopoly, etc., that kind of practices, which is always something that can be very expensive for a company to, the fines tends to be very, very big. Google did say that if you go too hard on us, you will hamper our AI growth and our ability to compete with China in the future. And as you know, that is the AI race is a race USA do not want to lose. So I don't think they will be fined too much based on that, but we will see what's going to happen. So the short term, the regulatory scrutiny may introduce some volatility, but I guess long term they have so much money, they're earning so much money, I don't think it will be a big problem. Something else I did that's very important. They are going to spend about $17.2 billion in AI infrastructure very soon. So they are really going hard, and that is why some other stocks in that space are getting a positive outlook based on Google's quarterly earnings call. Because if a company like Google are saying we're going to spend a lot in or at AI at the moment, obviously companies like Nvidia, AMD will have positive outcomes of that. For example, AMD, where I invest money, they have a lot of product they sell to Google Cloud, like CPUs, etc., and GPUs. So that's very good news for that type of stocks. And also, maybe the biggest thing in this earnings call, they authorized about $70 billion of buybacks. This means that the company are going to earn so ridiculous amount of money that to not getting taxed too hard and to be able to attract the best talent and pay them with, for example, stock options, etc., they are going to authorize this enormous buyback. So that's just a tracker of how much money they earn and how much they trust the income stream to continue into the future. So that's the most important bullet points from the earnings call, I would say. So just reflect on everything I said here, and if you invest in index fund, obviously all of you have some kind of connection to Google, because most index funds has some Google in it and some has a lot of Google or Alphabet stock. And if you are an investor directly into Alphabet or want to be, I hope this information can provide you with some clarity going into the future. And as always, do your own due diligence. I'm working with economy. I'm a controller, but I'm still not an authorized financial advisor, so I can't take responsibility for any investments that you do. Just use me and the information as something that can be useful in your life, but in the end of the day, you have to always do your own due diligence, etc. You know the drill. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in today. I'm glad to provide you with the latest info, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you.